You're listening to the Roofing Success Podcast, a show created to inspire roofing contractors to achieve optimal success in their roofing businesses. I'm the host, Jim Moline, the co-author of the book, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors, How to Triple Your Sales and Turn Your Roofing Website into an Online Lead Generation Machine. I'm also the co-founder of Roofer Marketers, the digital marketing agency for the roofing industry. On each episode, I'll be sitting down with industry leaders to talk about their processes, the lessons they've learned, and how to find success in roofing. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. As always, follow, share, like, comment, subscribe, do all those things wherever you're listening or watching. If you want to take the conversation beyond just listening to the podcast, go to Facebook, type in Roofing Success, and join the Roofing Success Facebook group. Man, today we're talking hashtag sexy roof status with Jason Payne, State 48 Roofing. How are you, brother?
Jim, I'm good, man. I'm good. Too blessed to be stressed.
Awesome. I love the hashtag. It's awesome, man. Good marketing. And that's what, you guys do a great job with your marketing and branding. For those who don't know State 48 Roofing, tell us a little bit about State 48, about Jason Payne, and how you got into roofing.
So I'm LDS, and I served a mission for my church. So that's how I learned Spanish. So that kind of got me in the door initially. When I was about 21, got home, started going to school. Never was a fan of school, even in high school, but just started working, trying to make some money, a couple of bucks, doing landscaping. And my cousin approached me, who my uncle at the time owned a roofing company, and his son worked for him. So my cousin called me and said, "Hey, you're making $12.50 an hour doing landscaping." He's like, "I'm leaving, starting my own roofing company, moving to Chicago. Do you mind do you mind coming over and working and replacing me and, getting into the roofing business?" And I'm like, 21, I have zero education. All I have is work ethic, and I speak Spanish and a clean driver's license. And that was about it. And he's like, "I'll pay you $14 an hour." And I'm like, that's steep. So from $12.50 an hour to $14 an hour, I was like, I got $1.50 a raise to leave. Heck yeah, man, let's go. And that was January of 2010. And since then, it's been a crazy ride. I was there for my tenure. There was about 8.5 years, and climbed the ladder, learned the trade and everything on the production side. Then went to sales, and slowly became the GM for a little bit, and then didn't work out business, game plan there. So I left and went and sold for a year, bootstrapping State 48 Roofing. Didn't know when I was going to start it, and it only took me about 12 months after leaving to get the funds together. So I don't have any investors, any helpers financially. I started it from just straight grit and getting in the trenches. So here we are, about right at 2.5 years old. So
yep, about 2.5 years. And where are you guys at now? Employees, revenue, if you want to share that, whatever but like you guys have built. Yeah.
Yeah. So we started in August of 19, from August of 19 to the end of the year, we cleared $1 million. And then in 2021, during the pandemic and all that craziness, we actually in 2020, we did 3.85. 2021, we cleared $7 million, and we're on track for $10 million this year.
That's awesome, man. You guys grew it, right?
And I'm pushing close to 55 employees right now.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
11 crews, eight in-house crews, and 3 subcontractors. So there's about 11 crews, and I got about 4 sales reps shooting for 7 by the end of the year. So
awesome, man. And so what do you think the key ingredients have been into growing at the rate you have been?
So a lot of it is stuff that I've stood by for several years, is taking massive action. And I followed Grant Cardone, if you guys know who that is, the whole 10X deal. That's been one of the biggest things, and throw your wallet over the fence. So when you need to make that decision to buy that next truck or that next dump trailer, or need to invest in this marketing tool or more advertising or whatever the case is, I don't even blink. I just do it, and I figure out how to pay for it later. And because I know if it's gonna help me grow and help me make more money long term, it's gonna be an investment into my company. I'm all in. So
I like to say, if you have faith in the outcome, you'll execute.
right.
Right. And so you have faith in your outcome. And so it's like, hey, we need a new truck, buy a new truck. Like when it's a hard thing for people it's a hard thing for contractors to, or for any business owner to do that. What got you to that point of just like saying, let's go?
To be honest, I learned from other people's mistakes of saying, hey, let's go. And then pump the brakes, pump the brakes, pump the brakes. And I'm like, dude, you're killing me, man. Like I want to, and it's very, very hard, especially I feel like the next 10, 15 years, it's going to be even a more big issue in the roofing world nationwide, with all the baby boomers that have been, doing roofing for 30, 40 years, and they have decades of experience in the roofing companies. They're either going to close their doors, sell out, or something is going to happen. And they're on the exit strategy. They're already like on the back end, right? They're ready to retire. They're ready to liquidate. They're ready to sell. They're ready to do. They're already peaked, and so they're going down this way. So if you have someone like me that's young and driven and wants to go crazy and conquer the world, I'm going like this, and the owner wants to go like this. You just at the peak, you have to leave, because if not, you'll go down with them. It's not a negative thing. It's just part of the phase of life, right? And that was one of my biggest things. I'm like, I'm going this way. And I felt that struggle, like, wait, let's plateau. Let's just, or cruise control. And I heard that word and I was like, nobody brags about getting in a Lambo and being in cruise control, man. Like, we're not doing cruise control here. Like, pedal to the metal. Let's roll. So,
yeah, that's where the owners goals and the employee goals, sales reps goals, they have to be in alignment, and the owner's goals have to be big. The owner's dream has to be big enough to fit the employee dreams within it, right?
Completely agree.
Like it's a different mindset, and what you're saying, it's just the cycle of business. So a lot of times a company gets later in business and it's kind of cruising along, and there's money's being made and everyone's getting paid well, and things are good, but there's maybe some ambition within that organization that gets capped with that type of a structure. I see what you're saying there. Yeah,
that ceiling, you hit that ceiling. Once you hit that ceiling, you got to go. And so you're either gonna get mad and leave and quit and go to a different industry. You're gonna go and start your own thing, where that person really could be a huge asset to you, but because you put the ceiling so low on them, because you don't want to grow, or you want to retire, you want to exit, you want to kind of cruise control, you put your limits on your people, when really they weren't putting the limits on themselves. You were putting the limits on them as the owner. And that was one of my biggest things. Like, I want, like, my sales reps, I don't care if you sell $1 million a year or 10 million, sky's the limit. There's no cap. Like, you conquer the world and I will be there to support you.
You'll figure it out. Right. Yeah. Like it's not, whoa, stop doing that. Stop selling.
Yeah. Stop conquering, stop killing. Yeah. Stop, conquering and hitting your own goals and being financially successful. And stop doing that. It's like, it's an oxymoron.
Stop doing that. That is counterintuitive for sure. Sure. So, you guys have done, you guys do a great job of marketing, branding specifically within marketing, right? As a specific thing within marketing. Mm-hmm. As you were getting State 48 started, where did the concept of your brand come from? How did you, and how do you express your brand, to the consumers in your area?
So State 48 Roofing came, I'm a third generation Arizonan, born and raised in the Phoenix area, more specifically Gilbert. Been here, my parents have been here for going on 50 years now. I even have some roads named after some of my ancestors in Mesa. That's how, like, horse and buggy type stuff. So I was like, I kind of want to pull on those deep roots, because to find somebody that's a native to, especially Arizona, is like one in every, 10,000 people, maybe even more. It's the exception, not the rule, right?
Yeah.
And so I wanted to tie into that because people like working with people, especially locals. And I was like, okay, well, since I have that, I can use that as leverage in my company instead of like, oh, I moved from St. Louis where I was roofing. Now I'm here starting up in, Phoenix. So I wanted to use that. Also, I lived in Sedona for a year, running another roofing company for my uncle, because he bought one. I moved up there for a year, and so I actually started flirting with the state, the Route 66 sign and logo.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's common, right? It doesn't matter where you live. Everybody knows the Route 66, the
Yeah.
movie Cars, right? It gets a lot of attention. So I was going with that, and I'm like, because that's, it goes right through Arizona. And I'm like, okay, so if learning with that, I'm like, but I want to be able to, I don't want to be specific to just Phoenix, but I want to stay in just Arizona for now. And if I need to rebrand and do something else, go into, other Southwest areas, I can do that. So I was like, okay, so let's do the whole entire state. I was like, oh, state. Now I found out later there's 114 different entities of state 48, state 48 law, state 48 landscaping, state 48 painting, state 48, you name it, they got
Yeah.
it. One of the biggest one is the shirts. There's an apparel company that's huge here. There's a big brewery, and I don't know where, but it clicked. It rhymed. And then I'm obviously trying to get attention. That's my biggest thing, is like I'm the extreme, like neon greens and bright colors and obnoxious. Like you see that car go on the road, like that's ridiculous. I'm like, I want to be ridiculous. Right. And so that's why I went with the green. And so since then, every single thing I touch, even me, I mean, you can see behind me, everything I got, that's literally a coconut from Hawaii. On the ABC trip, if you guys have ever been on the ABC trips, just got back from Hawaii, that's a coconut that I had, state 48 coconut. So we did that, but it doesn't matter how good your brand is if you don't market yourself and advertise yourself to get that exposure. And so everywhere I go, and people think that it's expensive, but when your mindset isn't, oh, it's so expensive, it's people need to know who I am. People need to know who I am because I am a great roofing contractor, and people deserve to work with great roofing contractors because 95% of us suck. It's facts. So they need to find out who the good ones are so they can use the good ones. And so by passing out business cards and swag and shirts and polos and hoodies and donating like breakfasts and sponsoring events, from pop-up tents to banners to A-frame signs, you name it, or to joining other trades or other companies to be on shirts or supporting local football teams. I'm one of the biggest, I'm actually the biggest sponsor for Williamsville High School football here in Gilbert. I've won state several years in a row, and it's a great program. I sponsored them because I love giving back to the community. So by doing all of that and doing it consistently, people think I've been in business for 20, 30 years, not 20 or 30 months.
So that's what you've done. What you just said there is people think that you've been around forever, but you haven't. And that's because of the amount of times they've seen your brand.
Right.
It's compiling those impressions, right? Like just building those impressions one after another, one after another, one after another. And all of a sudden someone told me that I can't remember where it's from, but you own mental real estate.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Well, and they say rent is due every day, right? That's why I wake up and grind, because rent is due every day. Just like now we haven't even talked to the social media world. We'll
That's
go
right.
there. I'm assuming, but apart from the social media part is, I spend thousands of dollars on my truck wraps, not, a few $100 for a cute little sticker and some vinyl lettering, because I want to make an impression and then stay there, right? I want to own that real estate, to where I can make an impression, because there's 450 roofing contractors in Arizona. Even in Phoenix, we're not talking Tucson or even Northern Arizona. So you have 450 guys. How are you going to stand out compared to those other guys and then remain standing out consistently? One of my biggest examples is waste management, right? Waste management is nothing more than a big, huge green box and some yellow letters. But every single bin that they have, compared to you see all these guys doing these remodels, economy is great, right? All this stuff going on. And there's a 40-yard container in a driveway. It's not painted. It's red. It's probably dinged up, scratched, broken, bent. Whose is that? I don't know. There might be some, spray paint phone number on there. But when you drop it in there, oh, hey, Waste Management owns that dumpster. right? So they take up my mental space when it comes to renting a dumpster because they're always there and all their stuff is painted. And then they obviously they sponsor, they do the TPC, the Waste Management Open, which is massive, right? You go anywhere in there and there's, tens of millions of dollars of advertising around that thing for weeks and months, even before then. So it's getting attention and then maintaining that attention. People will just like go all in for, maybe a few months or even a few years and then stop. And I'm like, Coca-Cola didn't become worldwide brand, by going at it for 90 days or even, 3 years. Right. So
That's
it's
right.
taking, so
that's the thing, brand, right? Coca-Cola, Waste Management, Nike is another good example. That's just, it's just always in front of you, right? They're always in front of you. So learning from these big brands, how they do that, right? Like you just have to take some example from that. It works, right? They build billion-dollar brands off of this type of stuff, right? Like
right.
billion-dollar companies off of essentially a logo and some colors and consistency in that, right? The brand, the way that your brand is represented to your perfect customer, right? Like it's just, and the consistency and amount of times that they see it makes a huge difference in the phone call you get, right? Like if somebody knows who you are and they've seen you around, they've made a buying decision before they called you a lot of times. Do you see that when in your business?
Absolutely. I forgot who, it was actually one of my clients who actually ended up going with me. It was a referral, but I showed up and I personally believe we have the nicest wrap trucks in the roofing space in all of Arizona combined. Like bring any other wrap truck and I'm the top 3, no matter who's by there. So when my guys show up, my sales reps show up to the home, you already can set that standard and that ticket item. Now, most of you guys don't know this, and I'm sure there's a lot of the storm chasing world. I don't do the storm chasing world. I am 90% retail. I'm 10% insurance, and it's not door knocking. It's strictly just agents having relationships with agents that call me. So this is not the door knocking, storm chasing type company at all. $7 million. Maybe $500,000 of that is at most is insurance work, and none of it was knocking. I've never knocked on a door. 12 years, never knocked on the door. We've done over $10 million in 2.5 years, going on 12 million. And we've never knocked on a door, except maybe canvassing, like the neighbor to the right, to the left, in front of the street.
Knocking the 6-pack, things like that.
But apart from that, that's never been a thing. So that's been probably one of the biggest things for me. So.
Yeah. What you said there, and I don't want to pass over it, is setting the standard. When your sales rep or you pull up to a homeowner's house and they see the way that you're presented, every detail from the truck to the hat, to the shirt, you're setting a standard and an expectation. One thing is you're setting an expectation that you're going to do a good job.
Right.
Because you have a professional appearance.
There's confidence, there's peace of mind there. Right. Even Home Depot even sells roofs. They literally sub it out to people like us, but people want that peace of mind knowing that orange tag, that orange representation is not going to go out of business. They're not going to get screwed over. They're not going to get taken advantage of, and they're going to answer their phone because they're that big. That's why they'll go and spend, 2-3 times more than what I would charge. But because Home Depot did it, there's almost like a status symbol, for doing that. But with us, it's the consistency of, and this is a true story. This happened with one of my earlier sales reps when I first started. I was still trying to get shirts and get polos and get hats and get business cards, but I was like, I need more sales guys. So I hired a sales rep. He's actually from Minnesota, super good guy, and I didn't yet have him. They're on back order, right? The pandemic, all the cargo ships in San Diego sitting there. I'm like, my shirts and polos are probably in a cargo container somewhere over there, and so I'm waiting for my polos and shirts and hats and come in. My business card guy went out of business. I had no idea. So I had to get new business cards. So I had like a 30-day, maybe 40-day window where this dude didn't have a company shirt, a company hat, or a business card. He had a nice looking truck, not wrapped yet because he wanted to drive his own truck and he didn't use one of my company trucks that I wrap. And And so he shows up and he goes, and this is in his own neighborhood. I mean, you're talking like a few streets down, like, oh, I live down the street. Cool. And she went with somebody else, not because she didn't like him or she didn't believe us. Because you hop on our website and you see us, you're like, oh, the state 48, everything. But he didn't have anything. And she's like, I literally went with the other guy because you showed up like no shirt, no business card, no hat. Like you literally could have been a landscaper or a stucco guy. You could have been an attorney, whatever the crap you are. And you're trying to sell me a $20,000 roof. And she literally went with the other guy strictly because of that. And he came back and told me that. Obviously, I was like trying to expedite everything at that point.
For sure.
And I was like, I would rather have the guys ride with me and train with me in my truck or ride with another sales rep and not be, decked out or have their stuff before I let them go without them having their stuff on there. That was like a biggest testimony. And then I wrapped he's like, we had to wrap my truck now. And he actually paid to have his truck wrapped because he's like, and we put his number on there serving Gold Canyon,
Yeah.
And it's been a game changer. He's like, everybody sees me now at the local grocery store and the gas station. And it's just, it's literally a complete 180. And you're talking about, I mean, Jim, you probably deal with this a lot you're talking about minimal dollars too. You're not talking like, minimal. Oh, it's $20,000 to get this sales rep going and this truck grab, blah, 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 and shirts and hats and business cards. Like, dude, it's almost nothing. But when you show up to the job site, you literally can get that bigger ticket or that higher ticket strictly by the way you present yourself from the second you pull up to their driveway.
For sure. And it's there. I had a guy on the podcast before, Ryan Kettering for Prolific Brand Design, and he made a good statement. He was like, you have a brand whether you know it or not. Right. So if you show up in the beat up truck with the magnets on the side and the rusty ladder, people understand that they can negotiate with you.
Totally. Literally, this happened last week. I was on a big street. I was going literally to sign the contract. I already had it done. He's like, hey, let's do a sign contract, do the deposit. And part of my company policy is I get to leave my 5x7 banner hanging from your gable for 2 weeks before we do it and 2 weeks after we do it. So it sits there for 30 days. Big, huge 5x7 banner with my logo on it. And 2 doors down, a house that I was trying to get, I didn't get. They went through the solar package game and all that stuff. And like, yeah, this guy was $15,000 cheaper. I'm like, yeah, you can't afford me. That's why you had to go the solar deal. Like that's not my problem. That's your problem.
That's right.
And I said that with, respectfully, but I'm like, it's okay. You can't afford me, but you had to go through the solar game to do it. I actually know who the roofing contractor is only because I knew who the homeowner was. And she told me who it was. Because literally as I signed the contract, I walk 2 doors down and there's 2 trucks, there's 2 trailers, and it's probably a 60, 80 square tile roof. Excuse me. 812 pitch, which is nothing compared to you guys, but in Arizona, 812 pitch is like our guys are going to die because they're going to fall off. 812 and everybody in Arizona freaks out. It's kind of weird, especially in Phoenix. But all the tiles off the roof. So they have at least a day, if not 2 days of, throwing away 60, 80 squares of tile and to dump trailers. You're talking like several different trips. Yeah. And you're talking anywhere from 2 to 6 guys for probably 2 days just to get the tile off. Underlayment's still on there. And I walk by, no sign. The guys have like 4 different color shirts on, no hats, no A-frame sign, no banner, trucks aren't wrapped, trailers aren't wrapped or have a sign at all whatsoever. There's literally just 2 trucks, 2 3/4-ton trucks and 2 dump trailers in the driveway. And then you hear tossing tile. And I'm like, who the crap is this? So before I found out, I literally had no idea who this roofing contractor was. And come to find out, actually, he's a friendly competitor of mine and I totally know who he is. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, literally as I signed before I even walked in to sign the contract, I already had, and we're not starting this job for 2 weeks. I have a 5x7 banner hanging from my client's gable 2 weeks before we even start. And I even signed the contract or gotten the deposit yet. These guys are already, knee deep in this project. And I'm like, how much opportunity is he missing out on the, and there's a school right there. There's 60 cars literally lined up in park waiting for the kids to get out of school for the little drop-off circle, right? The drop-off thing or pickup line. And there's like 60 cars sitting there. I'm like, they're literally watching these guys throw tile and they have no idea who this dude is.
No idea.
And they have my roof where I have like 3 different color samples on the roof. And I hang mine and I know over the next, 30, 45 days, these 60 people in this neighborhood and they all need the same roof, right? Like they all need roofs to be done.
All
And
do.
I'm like, dude, you just shot yourself in the foot. And $100 banner, apart from, my guys, when we actually come to do it, I'm like, dude, you totally lost opportunity to make tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars more just in that neighborhood within a 30-day time frame. Mind blown.
It blows me away every time I see this stuff, right? And so all the most successful contractors that I've spoken with, work with, like everyone, they know how to squeeze the juice, is how I like to say it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They get everything out anytime everything that they do, they're working on getting more deals from the one deal that they got. So you have a signed contract, you're hanging your banner. That's potential opportunities for another deal, right? And maybe you're doing some mailing in the neighborhood. Maybe you do some Facebook ads in the neighborhood. Then you're knocking the neighbors and doing like all of these things. Then on production day, putting on a show, right? Having your banners and what'd you say, A-frames and do like
I have a pop-up tent, like a 10 by 10 pop-up tent.
Like right. Like you put on a show for the neighborhood so that they recognize your brand, right? It's recognizing that you're doing a good job. There's social proof in that build.
Right.
You're working for Bob and Judy, right? Like Bob doesn't just hire anyone. Like
that's the crazy part is funny enough, my mother-in-law literally lives like 2 streets down and she goes to church with these people. But apart from that, my wife went to high school with their son. So I have like all these different avenues to come in and do this.
Connections. Yeah.
But they said, we know Jason's going to be here for a long time and he's going to take care of us. That's basically what it came down to. Cause I know it wasn't price. I know it wasn't the cheapest because I actually saw one of the other bids that was significantly less than mine, but they're like, I gave them more options, right? Different underlayments, low thermal sheet, elevated bats, all that fun stuff. But apart from that, like, yeah, it's crazy how people underestimate the power that everybody's looking for the next deal instead of like, right. Dude, ask for the referral there. Yeah. And so part of my marketing strategy for this particular house is at least every other day I'm going to do something. I have my pop-up tent there and I'm going to have people hold a sign that says free donuts. I'm going to bring like 10 dozen donuts. How much is a donut's $1, right? So like $15. So I'm like $150 in donuts, right?
Yeah.
$150 for, this is a $40,000 roof, by the way. So it wasn't a tile refill. This is a tile replacement. So literally throwing away the old tile, putting up brand new Eagle tile. So $150 in donuts. How many kids are going to come over and be like, oh, I want a donut. Cool. And here's a tape measure. A little tape measure with my logo on it. Or, hey, here's a mouse pad. Or, hey, here's a pen. Or here's a lanyard. Here's a flashlight. Here's a whatever, right? And give it to the kids. And then I'm going to set it up that, hey, this Saturday, after we tear off the roof and dry it in, then we got to wait for it to be loaded the following Monday. So that weekend on Saturday, hey, I'm cooking breakfast for everybody. I'm do breakfast burritos. And I have the grills in my backyard on my trailer. And I'm going to go cook breakfast burritos for the neighborhood. And so I'm going to tell everybody, hey, I'm going to literally have somebody walk by, one of my team members with shirts on, say, hey, I know you're in line right now, but Saturday morning, come back to this house, Saturday at 8 a.m. Hey, here's a cute little flyer, right? Come here at 8 o'clock and come get either a donut or a breakfast burrito on me. Then you get them coming in, right? But 2 doors down, what's happening? Nothing.
Yeah.
They're still putting on, that's a $60,000. It's a bigger house than one I'm doing. Yeah. That's a $60,000 roof. And he's not doing any of this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, I see people doing it. And I'm like, why are you not doing that? You know, it works. Why would you not do that? They don't believe in their brand, or they're too scared to invest in themselves and their company.
That's true. For sure. Like, and that's what you have to not believe in your product or your service, that if you don't do things like this,
right?
It's a very small investment. To acquire another customer or multiple customers, right? Future customer, to develop referral relationships with it's amazing the things that you can do with such small gestures, right? But it starts with belief in your brand, right? And belief in your processes and what you're accomplishing. So that's a good point. Some people don't believe in it. And some people are short-sighted. That's the other part.
Bingo. Yeah, they just it's all about the sprint, not the marathon. And my stuff, all my marketing tools and advertising, it's all about the marathon. It's all about like, I'm going to be here like at a high school. How many people are going to see my sign at a high school football game? Like, I need to call them, man. They're up on that billboard, and I need to call them. And it's the first time I've ever seen them, but I'm going to call them because they're up on the billboard to do my roof. Dude, you're not going to invest $15,000 with somebody you've never even heard of or seen once.
That's right.
And if you are that person, I mean, if it is, that's the exception, not the rule. And I'm not about the exception. I am the rule. I bank on the rule. But when they see it over and over and over again, right? And then you get the whole social. We didn't talk about social media. They have the whole social media game, right? Where you're consistently posting every single day. And especially in the roofing world, and I want to blame it on the boomers, but it's dudes. I'm 35. I have buddies my age. Social media is dumb. It doesn't work for me. It's not worth it. It's too expensive, and I don't have time for it. And I literally say, you take a crap once a day, right? I'm keeping it G-rated, but I'm like, you take a crap once a day, right? Yeah, and that crap takes you probably 3 to 10 minutes, right? Yeah, you could post 6 times in that time frame if you wanted to. Yeah. All you have to do is get up on a roof, take a couple of pictures, a couple of videos, and then while you're going and taking your morning crap, post it on social media once a day, and do a story. So do one post and do one story a day. That's 365 posts. After 10 years, you have 3,600 posts. I have over 4,500 posts. I did the numbers when I posted it for my 4,500 post. I have been averaging one post a day every day for 12 years since January of 2010. The average it was one a day. That's all it takes, one a day.
And it builds upon itself, and it builds upon itself, and it builds upon itself.
Yeah, the compound effect is ridiculous because it doesn't go away, and it's free. Jim, did I say it's free? FREE. It's free. Roofers love free shit, right? Like they love the free stuff. They love, cool. Like
it's included in your cell phone plan.
Dude, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, like none of that costs anything.
Yeah.
And you still don't think it works. And they're multi-billion-dollar platforms. And you still don't think it works. But you'll go spend money on, whatever. Right. And I'm like, okay. And then they're like,
that's short-sightedness. So you do have to have a long-term mindset to do social media. Right. I'm going to say that, like, you have to have a long-term mindset to do social media consistently. And you have to not expect a direct return on investment in a short period of time.
110%. Just and most things aren't like that. Most investments like that are not.
That's right.
The quick game, right? The door-to-door solar sales, that's quick. You don't know anybody, you knock on their door and you haggle them until they sign up. But when it comes to social media, it's not like, I posted every day for 30 days. I don't get any lead. This is stupid. This doesn't work. I'm like, dude, I was like, you forget. Remember how we talked about staying in front of people consistently, taking up real estate in their brain. Think of how many times you have to scroll. Every time I reload and refresh, I have more crap I haven't even seen from the stuff I read 10 minutes ago. And you're going to be on there once a day. So people are going through 4, 5, 6, 8, maybe even 10,000 posts or stories in a day. Someone that's active on social media going through that. And you're one of those. You're one of their several thousand posts or followers or stories or whatever. You're one. And you think you're going to get a deal from doing it. So out of 30 days, you have 30 posts, and let's see here, 4,500 times 30. Yeah, there's, over 100,000 different views, and you're 30 of the 100,000. Dude, you're throwing a little rock into a lake. You're not making a splash at all. And so that's where it comes to having that consistency. I post anywhere from 1 to 3 times a day, and I post anywhere from 5 to 10 stories a day too. And like, well, I don't have the content. Dude, how many roofs do you get on a day? How many inspections do you do a day? Like I have to go get the more upgraded, the 1 terabyte phone from Apple, because I have 60,000 pictures and 4,500 videos, and I'm maxed. My phone is at capacity with that, because people underestimate the power of this. This is all you need to start a business and to create a multi-million-dollar business. You need a phone. You can go Samsung if you want.
So we we post, we do shoot 4 to 8 posts a day on 7 different platforms.
Smart.
So I know the power of posting. Like, it's amazing.
Sure.
So here's an example of that, what you just said. And I think it's a good thing to realize that you are one of a lot of posts. So one of the reasons that we started posting so frequently, let's say like on Instagram, you can do hashtag roofing contractor, right? Hashtag roofing contractor probably has, man, I don't know, a couple million posts in it, right? And so your post gets buried, right? Your post gets buried quickly. And so that's why we had to continue to up our frequency so that we would continue to show up in that, right? Like
it's crazy.
In the hashtag, because that's where people are. Let me see. I'm going to type that in right
Sure.
now.
I was trying to
404,000 posts in hashtag roofing contractor, right? That's just one, right? Hashtag roofing contractor. So to be one, to just, even if we're posting 4 times a day to that hashtag, it's just a blip, right? It's like, but we're in there, right? We're inserting ourselves into the conversation by using those types of strategies. So let's talk about social media. What is your strategy on social media, and how do you execute that strategy?
So my strategy is, it's 2 parts. One is my Jason the Roofer name, which is not just roofing. It's motivational. So there's motivational quotes on there. Very little political stuff right now. I don't go like crazy one way or another, because that's not what that's for. But that's just more of like me as a human, because I don't want to be a robot, right? And I want people to see, hey, like, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I have 5 kids, like I have a life. I'm not just like, oh, I'm this multi-millionaire roofer, like, give me your money, like, sign here. Like, dude, no, dude, like I have a baby sleeping in the other room that I just gave a bottle to 10 minutes before we hopped on this podcast, right?
Yeah.
And so being genuine and being a human is one of them. But I also have a team that runs my my actual company page, and they're doing the hashtags and the geofencing and all that kind of stuff, right? But when it comes to that, so I have them posting almost the same stuff as I am on my personal page as they are on my business page every single day, 7 days a week. And they come at me and they'll ask me a bunch of questions. They'll literally press record and they'll just ask me a couple of questions. Okay, let's talk about real estate and roofing. And I'll just go on a tangent for 10, 20 minutes, and then they'll chop it up, whether it's via video or audio or pictures before and afters, and then post that on my company page. On my personal one, I do the same thing. But like, when you get up on a roof and you're telling the homeowner what sucks, take out the homeowner's name and say, this is a roof that sucks, and here's what to look for. Do you own a tile roof? When was the last time you maintained your tile roof? Right? Did you have that roof broken off? Hey, did you go paint your house? Did you have that rotted wood? The pest control guy went to go do the cobwebs and he saw there was some rotted wood. Okay, you need to call us. And so my biggest thing is, and this is where you can get a higher ticket as well too. Mm-hmm. Add so much value and knowledge to your consumer that they could do their own roof themselves if they wanted to, but they're not going to, because they don't have a ladder, they're scared of heights, or they just don't trust themselves to do it, so they want a professional. But you teach them so fundamentally how to do it for free via a free platform consistently, that when they go to do it, they're like, dude, I know how to do a roof. You've taught me how to do a roof. I've seen your posts, I've seen your videos, I've seen your content, but obviously I'm not going to do it. I'm a firefighter. Go do my roof. Or I'm a paralegal, or whatever the case may be. And so that's what it comes down to me. It's with me, it's all about, it's not like, oh, we did this roof today and we're so cool, and this is 100 square, this and that. Like, nobody cares about that crap.
Only other roofers.
Only the roofer. Yeah. And it's strictly just a ego and a pride thing to just to stroke each other's, you know what, but it's just silly. But my biggest thing on mine is, I'm also writing a book, but it's educating the homeowner of what to expect during home ownership. You have a roof. You are inheriting this roof, whether it's a brand new build, whether it's, an 80-year-old home that's, that has 2 or 3 roofs or cycles of roofing on it or through it. And you educate them on what to do and what to expect, because nobody likes surprises. So when you educate them, that surprise of that $20,000 bill, that number gets smaller. The number doesn't change, but the number mentally gets smaller, psychologically gets smaller, because Jason says, oh, repairs are, anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500, and maintenances are about $500, and full roofs are, on average 10 to 20. A bigger home, it could be up to 50 or 100, right? But be ready to invest in blank number of dollars and X number of years for maintenance for whatever. And like you said, the consistency part, when you're doing that over and over and over again, when you go to their home, they're already halfway through the door with you in the process, because you've educated them on your process. Oh, so if I have a leak, what do I do? Here's what you do. You call this number, and this is what's going to happen. You walk them through step by step what's going to happen, so they know what to expect. Instead of you have some dude with no shirt, no hat, no business card shows up to your house, and they're like, well, I hope you're with Jason's company, because you don't have any swag on, and you're going to come look at the roof, and thank goodness you have a ladder. That, at least that's, positive. That's, we're kind of getting the right direction there. So the social media game, that's what it's all about for me. My thing is, it's all about consistency and content, and that content needs to be, it's not cat videos, and it's a bunch of random things. It's before and after pictures. It's what roofs look like and what to look at. Hey, does your house look like this? Do your gutters look like this? Are your valleys full of pine needles, or you can't even see the tile or the shingles anymore? Do you have a flat roof? When's the last time you touched a flat roof? Like, you probably have a leak or have issues. You've been up, your original owner, you've had your house for 12 years. That's a flat roof. You've never been on your flat roof in 12 years. Holy crap, I need to go there today. Right. And so when you do that, and the biggest thing is, it's all about content and consistency. Just being consistent you can tweak stuff as you go.
That's right.
You got to stop the fear of being on camera, plain and simple. Even my sales reps, I make them do videos. We use the BombBomb app, doing videos while they're up on the roof, and like, hey, here, Mr. Homeowner, here's what I found here. Blah, 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 blah. They're still scared to do it. I'm like, once you get over that scare factor of being on camera and being consistent, like, your bank account changes. It's science. It's facts. It's just part of life. So
I don't understand why people have the fear of video as much as they do, because we communicate with each other face to face all day long. It's what you look like and what you sound like. You may not like it on camera, but
right.
but
yeah, you talk but you don't talk to yourself face to face. That's the problem. Right. Is they don't see that dimple or that that those gray hairs, right? Or that those it's bad. Some people like, hey bro, you got some mayonnaise. I'm like, no, I just have this little patch of grays here. Leave me alone. I'm 35 and I have 5 kids. Leave me alone. But what it comes down to is, people are so scared. They're so self-conscious.
Yeah.
And when you realize that nobody freaking cares what you look like or sound like, that's when your game changes. Because I did that. I mean, now, don't forget, I've also done 4,500 posts, and more than half of those are videos, right? So getting on camera to me, it's like, dude, you're a natural. I'm like, I didn't go to film school. Like, I'm a freaking roofer with a high school graduation, or diploma. Like, that's not all it is. They came up with the phone that has a camera on it, and all I do is press record. And when people understand that, they're like, oh, I sound bad. I'm like, dude, I was like, I have a really low voice. I talk really fast, and I slur my words. Nobody cares except for me.
That's right.
And they're like, oh, this extra, 15 pounds that I got down here. Nobody cares. We all have it too. And so, like, when you really check that out the door, and you realize that video is where it's at. I don't care what you are. I'm also writing a book, so it's kind of contradictory, but like, having other things to support you goes there. But like, video is key, right? When the phone calls, we didn't go to text messages. We went to Zoom. We went to video. Right. And when you're trying to show somebody something that's wrong on your roof, you can't physically you're face to face, right? You can't physically take them on the roof, on the ladder, because they're 85 years old and can't get up on a roof, or they're scared of heights, right? Or they're not even home. What do? You can talk to them on the phone. But what makes a bigger impact? a phone call, a text message, or a video. A video, 99% of the
Every
time,
time.
it's a video. Because
Every
especially
time.
with a video, guess what you can't do with the phone call? You can't listen to your phone call again. Unless you got some crazy software that's set up to like you record and all. I'm talking like a stereotypical phone call. Hey, Mrs. Smith, went to your house. What's up? How can I help? Right. So you can't do that. Text messages are good. Right. But my analogy for roofing, actually, I offer my products we offer a good, better, best system. Right. So you get the standard stuff with the standard accessories, and then you go the middle grade, and then you get the bougie stuff. Better warranties, better upgrades, better materials. Obviously, the ticket goes up. But think about that, how you communicate to your clients and your consumers. Are you doing the bare minimum of sending them a couple pictures? Send someone a picture of a roof, of a concrete tile roof that has been in, Georgia or St. Louis their entire life. Send them a picture of a tile roof. They have no idea what the crap it is. No idea. I'm probably half the people on this podcast are going to watch this. Like, what's a concrete tile roof? Hey, Siri, Google, what's a concrete tile roof? I saw one time when I went to Phoenix for a conference. Like, people just don't know. So you send them a picture. Well, the picture can't talk to you.
Yeah.
Unless you put like copy on it, which takes more time, right? You can't do that. So I can communicate with the homeowner. I can show them what's going on. I can outline it with my finger. I can lift up tiles or shingles or the flat roof or point at this and that. They can see my face with a picture. Where's the tone? Where's the urgency? Where's the attitude on a picture? There's not. You can do it on the phone, but they can't see the picture that we're talking about. Or we have to all the stars have to align correctly to be able to be on the phone and look at the pictures and then go on it together. Get rid of all that crap. In one video, I can press record and I can do all those things. You get my tone, you get my urgency. Hey, Mr. Homeowner, you're totally fine. Nothing crazy. There's a basketball that got stuck up here. Other than that, maybe seal your pipe jacks, $500 and see you later. We're off to the races. And you have a beautiful roof. Call me once a year for your inspection, but you got about 5 years out of your roof. Or, ma'am, I just stepped through your overhang and I'm bleeding. I'm going to get out this true story, by the way. I'm bleeding and I'm going to hop off the roof, but I stepped through here. You have some rotted plywood right here by your garage. Just a heads up. If you're getting other quotes, make sure your other roofers don't step over here because I just stepped through your roof. And your roof is 110% shot. You need a roof like 5 years ago. I'm just sending you a quote. Let's do a full roof. You can't do that via phone and or text message. You just can't. And who wants a freaking email anymore, right?
Yeah.
So by doing that video is just game changer. It has been probably my number one marketing tool is a phone, is a camera.
Yeah.
A free camera.
A free camera.
A free
with your
camera.
cell phone plan.
That's included. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's $150 a month. So it's right. $15 a day or whatever, $10 a day, not even. And so, but that's video is where it's at. It's
for sure.
People are just scared to do it. And they'll justify why not to do it. Right, Jim? They'll say, oh, well, it does. Oh, well, they're baby boomers and they don't care, or they just pictures are so much better and this and that. And I'm like, dude, you can watch a video 100 times. And if Jim's at work and the missus is at the house and someone comes to look at it, if you send me pictures, I'm like, I don't know what this picture means. I'm a roofer and you're showing me IT stuff. Cool. There's all these cables. What the crap does that mean? Right. And then you have your wife try and sell you on what the IT guy is telling you. Even bigger nightmare. Right. But what if you have the IT guy send a picture of, hey, Mr. Homeowner, hey, Jen, this is what's going on with your IT stuff. You need to do this. You need this cable, plug this into here, do that. I already bought the equipment for you. It's $149. I'm your wife signing here, swipe her card and we're good. Have a great day at work. Thank you so much. Bye. A 1 minute video. And you're like, I freaking love that, dude. 5-star review. Let's roll.
Yeah.
So
how are you getting, because this is the other challenge that I see contractors facing, is getting their team to participate in this. How do you get your sales reps to participate in creating videos?
So I don't get paid for this, but I will give a plug to Cardone University. You probably heard of that. Mm-hmm. So I have all my staff, except for my guys actually swing the hammer. I have about 15 people on Cardone University every single day, 5 days a week, or you don't work for me. It's non-negotiable. You train every single day. If you don't train, I get a log every morning if you did or didn't train. If not, then I text you or call you and say, hey, what's up, man? Do I need to train with you tonight? Cool. I'm going to, put your kids to bed and you and me are going to train together. So I'll keep them accountable. But when you have the vision and the dreams and their goals, and I learned this from Brandon Dawson, who is Grant Cardone's right-hand man, who's one of my coaches. He talks about making sure that you know what your employees' business, financial, and personal goals are. Because once you understand what those goals, their goals are, they will help you achieve your goals. Instead of like Jason wants to do $10 million this year and wants to net 10% and become a millionaire his first year, year 3 of owning a roofing business, which is what's my goal are. Well, but as the guy that's making 40, 50, 60K a year, we're just making Jason a lot of money. I'm not reaching any of my goals or doing anything. Bull crap. Hey, so one of my guys, in my AR department, his name's Mike. Mike, what are your goals, man? What are your personal goals? What do you want to do? Like, what's something you really want to work towards? I want to lose weight. I want to get a better relationship with my wife or my kid or whatever the case may be. And financial goals. Okay, well, I'm making this. I want to make this. Well, I want to be the tool and the vehicle that helps you make more money. So here's what you need to do. Start this, master this, and then you'll get promoted and you can make more money. And then you can keep climbing the ladder and doing your things, or even get into sales, right? And then you have the business goals. Whereas within your job, you need to do blank. Here's how to get you to the next level. And when you make them responsible for their goals, if they're conquering and hitting their goals, you as the owner, they're going to smash your goals for you. It's plain and simple. And that's been one of my biggest takeaways. And then the culture is everything. Where I came from, we went through 7 office managers in 8 years. So massive turnaround, which kills culture. And having that culture, we have weekly call, we have daily calls every morning at 8:30, about our training from yesterday, right? So keep everybody accountable. We're in touch, because if you don't pay attention, you might go weeks or days, if not weeks, without even talking to certain employees. And that's not, you got to keep them, you got to keep not a tight leash, but you want to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to, and then helping them if or where they make a mistake. And so having that culture, we have a weekly coaching call, face-to-face. We have a staff meeting face-to-face once a week for like 2 hours. That's it. Other than that, everybody works from home. I don't have a brick and mortar. I don't need a brick and mortar. Nobody comes in to buy roofing, at least in Phoenix. Nobody's like, I'm going to come look at these shingles and these tiles at your office. Nobody cares. And nobody does it. So everybody works. We have like a conference room, but everybody works from home because it's all via video, or most of it's, phone call, email, text message. But maintaining that culture has been the biggest part of me. And by making sure that you are focused on their goals, they will help reach the company goals, plain and simple. And if they're not, you will find out that how do I say it nicely? You'll find that one person or those couple people that aren't on the same page as you and that aren't going towards your vision and your goals and your dreams. You're going to see that immediately. Some people, especially in the trades industry, they could be, there might be animosity, or it could be toxic for months without you even knowing, or before you even find out. And that's because you're not keeping them accountable and you're not checking in. So you got to make sure you keep them accountable, keep them checking in. I invest into them, and they understand that I invest a lot of money into my employees on a daily and weekly basis. Cardone University is one of them. That's not cheap. That's a $75,000 investment, to be honest. But it's to help them become bigger, better, faster, stronger as a spouse, as a parent, and as a person. It has nothing to do with roofing, nothing. So those are life skills that I'm helping them learn, which if they do it correctly, they'll become a better husband or wife, a better parent, and a better person in the community. Apart from that, they're going to be a better employee, just naturally, if they're doing what they're supposed to. And Cardone University is not just about sales. People think it is. There's culture, there's customer service, there's follow-up, there's cold calls, there's, hundreds of thousands of hours on this. Whatever platform you want to train on, I don't care. But we give up either after college. I didn't go to college, so I don't know what that's like. But people give up after college or after high school on personal development. They stop investing in themselves. Grant Cardone says, if you have $100 or $1,000, what's the first? If I have $1,000 extra, what's the first thing you do? And there's like, Bitcoin, or go put it into rental property or this. He's like, no, bull crap. He's like, you invest it into yourself. Put it into yourself. Buy a book. Get a book. Read a book. Right? Get a podcast, or listen to podcasts. Listen to download the Audible app and go to town on those things. So invest. Go to conferences. Listen to podcasts like this. Invest in yourself first. And 99% of society is not going to do that for you and not tell you to do that because nobody wants to do it. And it's awkward. It's not fun. It's not cool. It's not glamorous. Nobody wants to do it. But it is the number one thing that'll change your life is you have to invest in yourself first, and then you can help other people. If you're struggling, you can't help other people, or you can't help them as much as you could if you had your crap together. So that's my personal development. I started that. I'm 35, about 29, 30. I'd never read a book in my entire life, except for like the obligatory high school stuff or some religious stuff. Apart from that, I never read a book until I was about 29, 30 years old. And I average about a book every 2 weeks right now. So I average about 25 books a year, apart from Audible, apart from, daily training, all that kind of stuff. And that's been that. Talk about the slingshot effect. Like you start investing in yourself and personal development and everything changes. Everything.
So you're investing in your team.
Yeah.
In that. And so they just, is it a buy-in thing then that they're like, oh, Jason's telling me I have to shoot video and this is part of it. Like, is that, then they just buy into it, or do you get some pushback there, or how?
Oh, I get pushback all the time.
Yeah.
But I treat that pushback as not that they're lazy or they don't want to. And if they don't want to, then I educate them on why they need to. And we have that conversation. But when you set that standard and you do not compromise it, people they come back with this high, we're going to do this. And then after 2 weeks, you're down to here. And after a month, you're down to here. And after 3 months, Cardone University isn't even being used at my company. No. This is a day. And that's why daily, we used to do it just on a weekly basis. And one of my mentors, Terrence, who's one of my best friends and one of my coaches, he's like, do you want to crush your goals and have your team crush your goals on a weekly basis or on a daily basis? And that was like because we'd have our weekly calls on Tuesday afternoons, and we get together as a team, great meetings, a lot of camaraderie, culture's great, vibes great, energy is great, everything's good, going through some stuff, training. And it's like, cool. It's like, what happens Wednesday through Monday? And I'm like, I was like, I don't know. I was like, hopefully they're training on their own. And hopefully, he's like, stop saying hopefully is going to kill you're going to go to business if you keep on thinking hopefully. He's like, do you want to work on your business once a day or once a week, or every day or once a week? And I'm like, every day. He's like, so you need to train every day. You need to train with your team every day. You need to train with your sales team every day. And going back to Grant, like I said, not a plug because I don't get paid for it, but he's been such an influence in my life into where I'm at. He has hundreds of millions of dollars. He's actually a billionaire now. But he makes his sales team. He has, I think, 150 employees in his sales and his 10X stuff. And they make him train every single day. And these dudes are like masters at closing. I mean, these dudes are like the best salesmen literally in the world, right? We all know this. But it's astounding how he still makes them train. I mean, even Jared Glant, his number 2 guy, that is a multimillionaire, hand over fist. And like that dude, he makes everybody has to train every single day. And then you track it too. So, oh yeah, I trained. Oh, really? What'd you train about? So when we have our accountability call, we do a Zoom call and we go through every single person, and every single person, I actually wrote it down. This is from my morning call. I write down one takeaway from every single one of my employees for the day. What'd you learn in your training? Oh, I learned about, don't reach for your potential, not your quota, or make sure you're consistent, or be proactive, whatever. And so we go through those, but you have to make that a priority because society and the average man, the natural human in us, will not do that. It's just not in us. Hey, let's spend 20, 30 minutes every single day bettering ourselves. I'd rather sleep in. Or I'd rather go get another cup of coffee, or let me just get up on a roof, or I just want to, that 30 minutes, I can go get up on another roof. Yeah, but that getting on the roof instead of 30 minutes, which one's going to make you more money? Not being on that one extra roof a day. Get on 5 roofs a day. You're not going to become a millionaire by getting on 5 more roofs a week. But you spend 2.5 hours a week, that compound effect we talked about, right? 2.5 hours a week times 52 weeks times 5 years times 10 years. Now you have hundreds of hours of personal development that you take with you no matter where you go, what you do. Now I tell my employees, Amazon does this really well. Amazon's like, we know you're not going to be here forever. Totally fine. But when you are, let's work on, your degree and work on you doing bigger and better stuff. my employees, if you guys all want to stay here till, for the next 30 years, I'm all for it. That'd be fantastic for me. Right. But I'm also a realist, and I know that's not going to happen. You're going to have opportunities or whatever the case may be. But you can take those life skills that I'm training you now and take those things with you. Personal development does not go somewhere else. It stays with you forever, stays in your brain and in your heart. And that's been one of my biggest takeaways with the culture that I have now. People, Jimmy probably dealt with this before. Yeah. In the previous company I used to work for, I had to go find people to work for me. I had to intentionally go out of my way and almost beg people to come work for me. And they'd be here for 30, 60, 90 days and be like, it's toxic, not positive. You guys got problems, and I'm out. I'm like, crap. And now I have people coming, hey, can I come work for you? Hey, can I come sell for you? Hey, you got a production job available? Hey, you got a scheduling job available? Hey, I don't know what you do. I just want to come work for you. And I'm like, what? Talk about a huge compliment, right? And I literally didn't know what to say. I'm like, you wait, you want to come work for me? Not swinging a hammer, not like Cruz, admin stuff, right? I'm like, you want to come work for me? Like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, let's talk. So that's one of my biggest things is personal development and then daily accountability. That's been my biggest takeaway. You focus on that and make it a priority, and you stick to it, and you do not deviate from it at all, and you do not jeopardize your standard or your quality. And that's been one of my biggest takeaways, to be able to maintain a 50 man team, is making sure that you're consistent and that you're accountable.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it's awesome to see your growth, and that's part of it. It's just getting a little bit better every day. Right. And then what you do on a day-to-day basis comes back to you. Right. So when you're saying that people have a hiring problem, contractors have a hiring problem, it's a big problem in the industry. They have a hiring problem. Well, some of them do. Right. Like if you show your culture and get and attract people to work for your business, that will change. Right. That's marketing too, but that's a long-term strategy also. You can market working for yourself. You're building your brand for people. Man, I really think about how many people want to work for Google. Can you imagine the resumes that they get because of wow, it's Google. It's, I'll do anything at Google to learn what they're doing at Google, or, I'm from the internet space. So it's, sure, that's where I think about it. But how cool would it be to work there and learn? And what you said though, too, is you have to have the understanding that they won't be there forever. But if you can make them a little bit better while they are with you, man, that's going to benefit their lives through their forever.
And I forgot, it was a audiobook or a YouTube video, something I was watching that stuck with me forever. It's teach them so well and coach them so well that they can leave, but coach them so well that they won't want to. For sure. So when you teach them and train them so well that they are capable of leaving, starting their own business, doing their own jam, doing their own thing, but because you have such a good culture and because they know that you believe in them and you're making them a priority and their goals and their ambitions and their this and their that, they won't want to leave. Even though they're qualified to leave, they won't, because they love. How many people say, I love where I work? That's it's not heard. It's not common anymore, right? It's still there, but it definitely lost that Kindle where I love working here. And I've been, especially take away the corporate America. You're talking small business, corporate America, you get people that are lifers, right? That hop on that train, and they're, we call it the golden handcuffs. And they're there for, 3 or 4 decades, and they get their pensions and their benefits and all that stuff. But you're talking small business where those, it's not common. How many people say, I love where I work? And people say, I love where I work. People are not going to BS if they hate where they work. If they hate where they work, hey, they're like, hey, where are you at? State 40. Oh, you like it? Oh no, my boss is an a-hole. He sucks. He's terrible. He's mean. He's cheap. He's this, he's that. Do you think and there will be 110% brutally honest, whether you can hear it in a mic or you can't, or they say it behind your back. Your employees will be 110% honest of what they think about you and the company. And so if they love you and love what you're doing, they're going to say, I love it here. It's great. The owner's awesome. The culture's awesome. The camaraderie is awesome. The pay is awesome. Everything is awesome. Or the exact opposite, which is mostly what happens. Right.
Yeah.
oh, they're running me crazy. They're having me on salary, but have me running 100 hours a week. They won't give me a raise. Um, everybody's fighting. There's all this drama. I'm working every single weekend. I mean, the list goes on and on, right?
Yeah.
And now they are like indirectly putting you out of business because of you and your culture and because of what you've compromised, whatever it is, your morals or your ethics, your standards, whatever the case may be. You compromise that, and now your employees are saying, I don't trust him. He doesn't stand by his word. He doesn't say what he's going to do. He promised me X. And so they're doing that. They're at the supply houses. They're doing that, right? They're at the conferences. They're talking about you. And are they saying, I love where I work. It's great. I'm killing it. There's so much opportunity, potential. Or what you normally hear is most common is, it sucks, it's terrible, but the pay is good, or I have to deal with it, or I'm settling, or I'm okay, or I'm content. You hear those toxic words, right? And you're like, holy cow.
Yeah.
So but that also takes a lot of commitment and self-awareness, right, Jim? Like, you got to be self-aware of what's going on and what your company is doing. And then, because you ask your employees, oh, you like working here? Oh yeah, it's great, man. It's great. I love it so much. They're not gonna say, you're a piece of crap and you suck and I hate you and I hate your company and your culture's terrible and I wish I could leave, but I'm making so much money here that that's the only thing that's keeping me here. No, but 99% of people aren't going to tell you that, because nobody has the balls to tell you that straight up, right? And so that's where keeping that culture and that environment positive and flowing and being aware of it or lack thereof is huge to growth or to, I mean, I have a guy that I'm coaching. He has like 1 or 2 crews. He's like, yeah, I can't get that extra crew or get this extra guy or whatever. I was like, it's your culture. He's like, what? I'm like, you might not have a culture, by the way, but like you said, everybody has a brand. It just might not look like this. I was like, you have a brand, but you set your brand, like you right now, your brand's going like this because you compromise X or Y or Z. But there's other companies that have, 25 or 30 crews. They have 150 employees and they're hiring every single day, and they have crews going into them. Well, go watch that company, what they're doing, and mimic it and model it and then master it.
So many things.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun, right? Like solving these puzzles is what business is all about, right? It's and understanding, and you're always trying to make yourself and your business better. So what do you think the greatest insight that you could share with our audience has been that has helped you find success with State 48?
Say that question again. What would I share the audience?
What's the greatest insight that you've learned through your roofing career and roofing business that has helped you find success with State 48?
I was actually going to bring this up just now. Getting a coach or a mentor.
Yeah.
The phrase pay to play, people say, oh, you don't have to pay to play. Like, no, you pay to play. Or you work your way into getting into that position to pay to play. Because a good mentor and a good coach is not going to do it for free. Plain and simple. If they're that good, maybe if it's like and even then, if it's a friend, that friend's probably not going to, want to work with you because like, well, I get paid to coach. This isn't like a charity. Right. So I have I have what's called the $30,000 mentor, or the 30,000 foot mentor, and the 3,000 foot mentor or coach. You have the Andy Frisellas, the Ed Milet's, the Sean Whalens, the Grant Cardones of the world that are, hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, and the private jets, the $40 million beach condos and all that kind of stuff. And those are great mentors and coaches because that's where I want to go. That's my end game. But there's such a gap between the single story home and the 40-story, skyriser there. Well, where's the 3-story or the 5-story guy? Where's that 3,000 foot plane, not the 30,000 foot plane? And referring to coaches and mentors. And that was my biggest thing. I'm like, okay, those guys are great. And I follow all of them and I'm in all their platforms and it's all wonderful. I don't get one-on-one coaching with them because it's $5,000 an hour. But they're not as specific. It's more a generic coaching, right? And then, but the 3,000 foot, if you're lucky enough, you can find someone that is coaching and is in your trade. like me for roofing. So I'm actually going into that space of the business coaching, but specific focus. I'll coach anybody in the trades world, or even real estate, because the principles are still the same, right? This doesn't change. State 48 real estate, right? State 48 air conditioning and heating, state 48 marketing, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
The principle doesn't change. It's those core values and principles of owning a business, running a business does not change. But the 3,000 foot guy is nice because it's more intimate. It's more, you can collaborate more. And I have two guys, they're actually my best friends now, but I have two guys, both of them make more money than I do. Both of them are more successful than I do. Do not go backwards. No offense. If you're making 150K, don't talk and hang out with somebody that's making 50, 100K and think that you're going to make more money because of them. No offense. They're not. And stop talking to your friends and stop talking to your family about business. My biggest thing. Love them, go to church with them, go to family dinners with them, give them hugs, go get drunk with them, whatever you want. Do not get your family or your friends involved in your business stuff and your financial stuff. Stop it. It's killing you. It's choking you, and you're going to beat your head against a wall until you realize that have family be family. Family and business is not. Family is one thing, business is another. Do not confuse the two. Friends, Jim, you have friends. Have you ever had a friend pay your mortgage for you? Have you ever had a friend come and bring you a check for $2,500 for your mortgage payment?
No.
If you do, I want to know, meet your friend, because I'll have him cut me a check too for mine. So your friends don't cut your checks for your bills. So don't go to them for business advice either. And especially the ones that are not doing as well as you are. You always want to go up, right? So that being said, those 3,000 foot coaches and mentors have been probably my biggest thing with me, because I have what's called a Marco Polo app, which is very common. I do Marco Polos with them. So during my workouts, I do 75 hard as well a lot. And as I'm doing those things, I can collaborate with them and throw ideas off of them back and forth. They have a fee. I pay the fee. I know we're buddies and we don't hang out. I see them literally twice a year, but I see them every single day on some sort of a video, whether it's a text message or a three-way text or a video or the Marco Polo app, and being able to collaborate with them on that 3,000 foot level where they can get intimate in my business and in my day-to-day struggles. Grant Cardone is not going to be like, Jason, what's wrong with your roofing company? How can I help you go from 7 to 10 million? He's not going to do that, right? The big boys are not going to do that because they don't need to, right? And nor do they want to be honest, for that small of a fish. But then you get those. So find someone in that 3,000 foot area that's doing a decent amount better than you, but definitely better than you, but like your next maybe 2 or 3 levels of growth, right? So if you're doing $1 million in revenue, find someone that's in like the 5 or the 7 or the 8, maybe even the 10. But don't go to somebody that's doing 25, because they're not going to give you 2 seconds, right? Or their fees are going to be so ridiculous, they're going to be able to afford it. And then the other guys up top, like go and follow them, because you can follow all their stuff for free, right? All those mentors, those big guys, all their stuff's on YouTube and all of it's free. You can just watch their stuff over and over and over again without even getting into their membership programs. But the 3,000 foot guy is where the true intimate growth for me came in, because they were able to, Brandon Dawson talks about this, humility and vulnerability. And those guys with love and with genuineness, they will go in and they will tear you apart and tell you where you suck and where your strength. Like my buddy, my coach and mentor, Terrence, he's like, do you want to work on your company and have your team work on your company daily or once a week? I'm like, daily, at least 5 days a week, right? He's like, do you want 5 days or do you want 1? I'm like, 5. He's like, so why are they only training 1 day a week? No offense. The big boys up here didn't teach me that. That was my 3,000 foot guy, because he had gone through that. He's like, I used to do the once a week thing, the weekly coaching calls, right? He's like, now we do every single day. So my 2 cents would be, find someone here. They don't have to be in the same industry. If they are wonderful. Well, a guy that I'm going to go coach, or that I already am coaching, I'm going to go meet with him for lunch after this, is he's in that small, like $1 to $2 million range, and he's stuck. He said the word stuck. And I'm like, I want to find roofing contractors that are stuck, because there's something going on that is not allowing them to go to that next level. They might not know. I didn't know what to do. I had no idea. And normally the company that you work at, if you work at a $2 or $3 million company, you're not going to start your own company all of a sudden get to 6 or 8 or 10 by yourself, because you've never been around it. So you don't know what that success looks like, or that effort looks like, or the systems, or the the SOPs and the infrastructure looks like for I've never been part of a $10 million roofing company ever. So I'm literally having to grow and having to stretch and get out of my comfort zone, right? Be comfortable being uncomfortable outside your comfort zone. Because I've never done that. I've never been part of a 7 million. The most we ever did at any roofing company I've ever been at was 5.1. So for me to do 7 was just like a rocket ship, and we just landed at 7 instead of somewhere in the 5 world. But like going from 7 to 10 is gonna be way harder because I've never been in that sphere. So I want to get around those 10 and 12 and $15 million guys and go golfing with them and network with them and collaborate with them. So my biggest takeaway for that would be and people think that if you get a coach or a mentor that like you suck or you're incompetent or you don't have what it takes, or why do you need help? Like, suck it up, man up, 10X, like you got this. I'm like, no. Don't reinvent the wheel. That's expensive and that's exhausting. So go find somebody that's already done what you've done and just copy it. It's really not that hard. I got this from a growth con at Grant Cardone's growth conference. He has a Rolls Royce that he wrapped like the Louis Vuitton style. And I was like, dude, that's all. He wrapped his car in the entire thing like that. And it said 10X, but the Louis Vuitton little stagger stuff. I was like, dude, that's awesome. So I literally did that on here. I didn't create this or make this up. Like, I literally copied it from somebody that's doing something bigger, better, faster, stronger than me. And so that'll be my biggest thing is stop listening to your family and friends and go get somebody that's doing better than you. That would be my biggest takeaway. Even apart from like social media and the swag and the marketing and advertising, like stop listening to your friends and family, turn off the freaking radio and TV, and go find someone that's doing bigger and better than you and go hook onto their hip.
Awesome, man. This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast.
If you would like to generate more sales through your digital marketing efforts, please visit roofermarketers.com and get a copy of the book, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors, How to Triple Your Sales and Turn Your Roofing Website into an Online Lead Generation Machine. Also, check the training section of the website for guides on everything from running effective pay-per-click ads to how to properly set up your Google My Business listing. This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. Thanks for listening.